Alright, next tutorial, how to make a character info thread. So I've learned that this does not show the drop down like it does for me, so sorry about that you just see me hovering, but we're gonna go with Cyprian Rudder. Now, first let me show you where the character profile is found on here. Right here. Not profile, sorry, info. I'm bad with words. So remember from our last tutorial we had calls and texts, social media. Now we're doing character info. And we will get to the rest of these. Here's a little tidbit. These three, messages, posts, and topics, they are automatically filled in. You don't have to do anything with these. They are 1, 2, 3. Any topics I started. Oh, I did it too fast. I am the dumb. Any posts I did. And any messages I have. So those three will automatically be filled in, you don't have to mess with them. The remaining two are requests and shippers, and we will get to those in a minute. But there's first things first, character info. So, we're going to go back to the home, and we're going to scroll down. And as you can see, character info is right here. Now, we've yet to decide if we're going to make another section for requests, so this is what it stands at, but this might change. Do know that. So, we're going to open tutorials and references in another tab, because you're going to need that in a minute. And we're going to open vampire threads, so you can see Cyprian's. Tutorials and references. Now, there are two things in here. There is Morg's coding help, and there are the template codes. Morg's coding help is basically to teach you how to do things like they were done on E, because E has a bit more functionality within the post itself, versus JSync has way more functionality around the posts, and on the board in general. Morg did everything in his power to make this as similar as possible, and to give you as many options as possible. Why does my chair hate me? So, as he notes here, you can't use tables, and you can change the color it's displayed in. You can change the font. I'm not sure why he says that, but I will check with him. Oh, you can't change some fonts. Okay, anyways. He leaves a tutorial about how to do images and captions for them. And as he says down here, don't hesitate to ask. He has spent at least 2 solid days just tweaking code for y'all, and he is very eager to talk about it. And this is the kind of stuff you can use in your character thread. And anywhere, but yeah. By all means, please feel free to ask him. He did a good job. I'm so impressed. I had a headache. Alright, here are the template codes for your character info. And like your social media and texting, if you haven't seen those tutorials, you can check them out. This comes in templates. Templates are basically chunks of code that you can fill in pieces of. So, a mood board, you'd put images in. Connections, to add additional connections. Please stop murdering each other in the backyard. Use the dogs. And the thread tracker. And a text box. And we might add more, but we have not yet. You do not have to do this. You can just do, you know, as you see. Wrong link. I'm smart. As you see, Morg just typed like this. You absolutely can just type like that. You don't have to use a template, something like this. You can just put in an image and type as you want. These are just fancy ways to do certain things. They're not mandatory. They're just some neat little things that add a little oomph to your thread. And I will show you some of these in action. Okay, vampire threads, and we're going to use demon threads as well as an example because Morg did Ava's. So, Morg started with his connections, family, romance, and friends. These are just little tidbits about each. For example, Ava has, no real family around. Mary has her brood. Cyprian has his brother and his son. Romance. She's not presently dating anyone. She's interested in someone, and that lets you know how available the character is. She's undevoted. She's sleeping around. And he's predominantly monogamous. Friends. Doesn't really have true friends, but is very friendly. She's prone to making friends, but also very insular with her brood. Doesn't really make friends, prefers cronies, but is very loyal to the people around him. These are just little bits that'll tell you about the character and let you know, if you were trying to make a connection with them, who they've already got in their life, and what kind of connections they look for. So for example, Cyprian's probably not going to have a coffee buddy, and he's probably not going to start dating someone new. So someone who is looking for that would probably not be looking for Cyprian. Now next is your connections. And these are little tabs that have the character, the image, the name, the species, and the relationship. And then a little blurb. And you can scroll down in this blurb. You can make it as long as you want. Some of these will just be short. Depends on how many connections you have. Some of these will be longer. Mary has quite a few connections, for example. And some of these will be very long. Cyprian's. You can put, romantic interests, family, friends, enemies, etc., etc. Anything you deem relevant that you want people to know about or you want to keep track of. It's all in a convenient little area, so each person gets their own one, so you can see. And you can put as much or as little as you want in each section. For example, just routinely underestimates her versus this. Or this. And your connection can go on as long as you please. And I will teach you how to do that in a minute, but to show you the code, to add an additional connection, put this I'm not reading that all out. I will show you in a minute. I find that's easier. Alright. One of the next templates you saw was a mood board. That's this. It's not anything fancy. You could easily put 9 images like this in the body of your text. It's not that hard. This just puts it in a box with a little GIF and little information. It's just slightly fancier. And this is what it looks like. Here is another example. And another example. We found that adding still images, either in the corners or on the cross, really helps, because it helps to feel less animated and less active and less distracting. These images convey a mood about your character, and you still have workable images. If If you want just a GIF in the center and still images all around, that would work great. You can do it however you want, whichever way appeases you. We do suggest that you do it like this, because trust me when I say 9 GIFs gets very overwhelming very fast. Now, I will teach you how to make one of these before I do anything else. So we're going to switch characters. Now, we're on Aiden. Aiden is a vampire, so we will go to Vampire Threads. And I will teach you from start to finish how to do this. Close all the extraneous tabs. Listen to the dogs murder each other in the yard. I gotta love puppies. Okay, new topic. Here we go. Click the highlight code. Now let's do Paul Amos. Tools, remember if you want to search specifically for GIFs, do that. Now we're just going to use some random ones because I'm not going to make a real fancy one. I just want to demo to you guys how this works. Paste. You can take off the V at the end, you don't have to. Now, let me show you. First one, top left corner. Second one, middle top. Third one, top right corner. See? Second row, middle one is the center. Ta-da! And like all other things, remember these center. So if you're using rectangular GIFs, do that. Bottom one. Ta-da. Now, since I'm a nerd, we're going to go to Pinterest. And since I have an entire mood board section, because I need God, honestly. If any of y'all want a link to this, by the way, let me know. I have an entire section, just these little still images that I use for mood boards, because I have no hobbies. I do these all the time. So Aiden's kind of mad, so we're going to give him kind of a mad feel. You don't have to hit preview every time, I just do, to see what it looks like. Don't leak anything in there. Let's go with... We're not going to do anything fancy for him, like I said. Nope, don't like any of those. How about jewelry? Here we go. Now remember, we're trying to convey the general feel of the character, so this can be whatever you want, however you want. Whatever kind of things exemplify the characters to you works perfectly well. Just get creative, have fun, da 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 da. For example, he's a submissive. So I would do that. Because I want to exemplify that he's fucking crazy and also likes to bottom. AKA me. And we'll use that one as the fourth. And normally I'd color coordinate a bit more and do more aesthetics, but again, this is a demo, so we're just doing a demonstration. As you can see, GIFs, GIFs, stills, stills. Now character name, quote, and a little image. Yeah, I may have based him off his show character. We will not discuss what happened in that show. Okay. So, GIF/image goes here. That's this little guy down here. At the very bottom, character name. Name and quote. Oh, I forgot to add the last quote. Ta-da! That's a full mood board. And as you can see, it was posted by Aiden. And that's what it looks like. Now we'll add a connections tab. Connections are a little more complicated, but not by much. I need to turn off flood control. I really do. We're just killing time. We're killing all the time because we have to wait 30 seconds, and that's actually a surprisingly long amount of time. There we go. You'd be surprised. Anyways, you got to listen to my bad singing. So, there's a lot more to fill out here, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually fairly easy. So first things first, names connections. Aiden. That's up here. Family. His sucks. Romance. And see, it'll expand and contract with how much space you use. Now, I'm going to give you an example of this. But first, let me show you. Okay. Remember when we said you could add new ones? This is one connection. This is this box right here. That chunk of code I just highlighted. This is another one. This is your third one. Do not touch this bottom row. You need it. See? Now I'm gonna use... Sorry. I don't know why I was doing that. I'm going to start with one connection so I can show you how to add them. So... I'm going to do his wife. Copy image address. And like before, you put the picture in the parentheses. Ta-da. Her name goes here. Her species goes here. And their relationship goes here. Ta-da. And then a little blurb. And keep it simple. Ta-da. Now here's how you add another one. You don't want this code, you want this code right here. And as it says, to add an additional connection, put this code in under the 4 divs before the last center div. Sounds a little confusing until you see the code. 1, 2, 3, 4, before div center. I suggest adding 2 or 3 lines. Doesn't really do anything magical to the code, it just helps you see, because otherwise it would all blend together, as you can see. It just helps you have a bit more of a distinction. So, Bill Collis. We're gonna do his brother. Yeah, this man is fucking fancy. Put in the connection pic, and just to show you, it added. And like before, you used the line break code to add a line break. But name here, Cyprian Rudder, species here, vampire, relationship, half brother. I can type. Ta-da! It's very simple once you get the hang of it. The code is right there, again, available for you to nab. And you add a reply. And I'm gonna do the thread tracker in a different post because that is slightly different, and I want you guys to understand how to do that specifically with its own video, so I'll be right back.